Hey guys, Mike Wallace here. Hope you're having a great day. Coming to you from the York Baptist Association. I want to talk to you about my thought for the week. My thought for the week is the pastor search process. It's a painful time. Sometimes it's a painful time. It's definitely a challenging time for churches when they go without a pastor. A lot of different reasons that churches would be without a pastor. Some are sudden, some are planned. Um, it's those sudden times really that catches a church by surprise that causes a lot of questions and often a lot of pain. Um, we're fortunate right now. We have very few churches without a pastor here in the York Baptist Association. But if you're going through that right now, and certainly some of you will go through that in the future, we want to let you know that we're here for you. We're here to help you. We've got tools and resources and training that we can lead you through that process. And we want to help you discern the will of God for the life of your church, to seek the discernment of the wisdom of the Holy Spirit so that you would find that right man. And but a word that comes to my mind in thinking about this is succession, because there are times when a pastor is planning, whether it's retirement or he knows good and well that God's moving him on to something different, and he can give that church some time before he leaves, and he can help prepare that church for that period when he's gone. And so the process of succession is when the existing person helps find that next person, and it helps that transition be seamless and just kind of. And we're seeing that happen in more and more of our churches today. I've had some good conversations with several of our long-term pastors in preparation for their leaving in the last few years, and some of them have worked towards this succession process. We've got a couple of great examples of successful transitions in our association just in the last couple of years. Think about it. Who knows that, besides God, of course, who knows that church better? Who loves that church more? Who cares for that church more than that man who has spent the last 15, 20, 30 years nurturing that church, loving that church, ministering to that church, leading that church? Church, who would be best to help you find that next person that would be right for you? Because that person also usually has good insight into what the future needs to be and the changes that need to happen. Anytime God gives a church this type of transition, then he usually intends, I think he always intends for there to be transition and change. God doesn't waste a transition in the life of the church, and it never catches God by surprise when a pastor leaves. So if God allows this to happen to your church, then he intends to do something in the life of that church through that process. And that pastor that's leaving usually, not always, but usually has real good insight into what those next steps should be. And so who better to help you find that next pastor? So pastors, if you've been with your church for a while, if you're thinking about retiring, if you're looking at a transition or a change, consider this process. Let us come alongside you and help you learn more about it and help you figure out how you can set your church up for the most success in that transition after you leave. But sometimes, probably more times than not, churches don't necessarily have, pastors don't necessarily have that option to leave with a long-term notice. And so just churches know that we're here to help you. We've got some fantastic residency programs happening in this association right now in different places across the state, where young men are being raised and being trained and being mentored by existing pastors so that they are prepared and ready to lead a church beyond just what the education provides. And so we can help you. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, like 7 out of the last 8, or maybe 8 out of the last 9 pastoral changes that we've had here at the York Baptist Association have either been successions or they've been residents that have come out of one of these programs that we've been able to help a church find a young man that's ready for them. All that's to say this: know that you're loved, know that you're cared for. And even in some of these most painful, challenging, and uncertain times in the life of a church, like losing a pastor, God can do some phenomenal and great things. And we love you, and we're here to help you, and we're ready to help you in that transition. So call on us, put us to work. God bless you. Have a great day.